Let's dive into a really remarkable story today. It all starts in the heart of the Arabian desert, where a woman, facing near starvation, has this chance encounter. An encounter that leads her to paint one of the most powerful and detailed portraits in all of history, using only her words. We're going to piece together exactly what happened. It all kicks off with this incredible description. I mean, just listen to that. The most beautiful of people from afar and the sweetest up close. Words like that, so vivid and potent, they just immediately make you ask one thing. Right, who could possibly inspire that kind of description? Well, that's the mystery we're unraveling. And to find the answer, we have to go back to the extraordinary events that led this woman in the desert to paint such an unforgettable picture with her words. So let's set the scene. It's a really harsh time. We're in the desert of Khuza'ah during the Prophet Muhammad's migration from Mecca to Medina. And this isn't just any desert journey. It's happening during a severe drought, a year of famine, where just finding enough to eat or drink was a daily battle for survival. And in this desolate, lonely landscape, we meet our narrator, Ma'bad. Now, she was famous, known far and wide for her generosity. Her tent was like an oasis, a rest stop for any weary traveler who passed by. But the famine had hit her hard. Her legendary hospitality had completely run dry. She had absolutely nothing left to give. So, right at this low point, two men appear at her tent. They're exhausted, thirsty, clearly worn out from their long journey. These travelers, as you might have guessed, are the Prophet Muhammad and his close companion Abu Bakr. And they're just hoping for a little food or water to keep them going. When they ask for something to eat or drink, all Umm Ma'bad can do is express her regrets. You can just feel the pain in her words, can't you? For a woman whose entire identity was built on her generosity, having to turn away travelers in need, well, that was the ultimate sign of just how desperate things had become. But then, the visitor spots something. Tucked away in a corner of the tent is a single, scrawny goat. It's so weak and emaciated from the famine that it can't even go out to the pasture with the others. And what happens next? Well, this is where the whole story pivots from hardship to absolute wonder. So the visitor makes what sounds like a crazy request. He asks if he can try to milk this barren goat. Ma'bad probably thought, sure, why not, thinking it was useless anyway. But then he touches the goat's udder, he mentions God's name, and he says a prayer. And just like that, a miracle. The udder begins to fill with milk, and it keeps flowing so abundantly that he fills up a huge vessel, enough for everyone there to drink until they were completely satisfied. But he didn't just stop there. Get this, he then milks the goat a second time, fills the entire vessel again, and just leaves it there for her and her husband. This wasn't just about quenching their thirst in that moment, it was about leaving behind a true blessing, a gift of abundance in a time of scarcity. You can just imagine the scene when her husband, Abu Ma'bad, gets home. He's absolutely stunned. He sees this vessel literally overflowing with fresh milk, and he knows their only goat was completely barren. After Ma'bad tells him the incredible story, he asks the one pivotal question that immortalizes this entire encounter: describe him to me. And so she begins. This is her famous portrait. She starts with his face, talking about this radiant brightness, a shining presence. She paints this incredible picture of the contrast between his intensely dark eyes and his long, beautiful eyelashes. It's a picture of captivating light and beauty. Then she moves to his physical build, and she emphasizes its perfect balance. He wasn't too thin, he wasn't overweight. The way she puts it is so poetic, like a branch between two branches. It suggests this graceful, elegant, and perfectly proportioned presence. Now, this part is fascinating. She captures this amazing duality in his presence. When he was silent, she said he was covered in venerability, this quiet, profound dignity that just commanded respect. But the moment he spoke, that dignity transformed into a radiant splendor, this brilliant, captivating aura. And his speech, wow. She describes his words as sweet and crystal clear. It wasn't just rambling. His logic was distinct. Every word flowed so beautifully and perfectly one after the other that she compared them to a string of cascading pearls. What an image. So if you put it all together, her description gives us this incredibly complete picture. On the physical side, you have a radiant man, striking features, a balanced build. And in terms of character, you have this person whose very presence shifts from deep dignity to brilliant splendor, and whose every word is the definition of clarity and beauty. Now, this very brief meeting in a desert tent didn't just end when the travelers left. Oh no, it had this immediate, profound ripple effect that has literally lasted for centuries. As soon as Abu Ma'bad hears his wife's amazing description, it all just clicks into place. He has that aha moment. He knows exactly who their blessed visitor was. That, he says, is the man from the tribe of Quraysh we've all been hearing about. The mystery was solved. It was the prophet. And a story this good, this powerful, it doesn't stay quiet for long. It spread like wildfire. The famous poet of that time, Hassan ibn Thabit, was so moved by the account that he immortalized the whole thing in verse. And that's how a private, fleeting moment in a lonely desert tent became a cornerstone of Islamic history, preserved forever through art. But in the end, after all the beautiful details, it really comes back to Ma'bad's simplest, most powerful observation. Beyond his eyes or his speech, what she really saw was this, a divine light in his face. It wasn't just a man she met, it was a spiritual presence. And that just leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? This whole incredible, detailed portrait that has captivated people for over 1,400 years. It all came from a stranger's fleeting observation during a moment of extreme hardship. It just shows you the unbelievable power of words to paint a picture so vividly that it completely transcends time, making someone from the distant past feel undeniably, powerfully present.